What up, y'all? It is your boy Darius, and I'm back, y'all. So we have a video we're gonna react to, y'all. Shout out to MusicVibe though. Y'all see him. I react to most of his videos on this channel though. I love his videos a lot though. So shout out to him though. So this video said the birth of SlimShady. Now, Eminem, man, you are the greatest, man. You really are, man. I think Eminem was the first rapper had the first alter ego. I believe it was Tupac. I'm not really sure. I don't know. Do y'all really consider Machiavelli as an alter ego or what? I don't know if I could consider that though. I don't know. I gotta think about that. But I think Eminem was the first one, and then of course Nicki Minaj did it. So yeah. So let's check this out. Cause if you haven't listened to Eminem's new album, The Death of SlimShady, I love the album so far though. I love it though. So let's check this out. See what The Birth of SlimShady by MusicVibe said is. Let's get it.
I want to say that Eminem has two alter egos, and Marshall will now tell you all about it.
Eminem is the rapper.
I'll add to that the fact that he's a lyrical rapper,
Yep.
so he's more focused on lyrics. For example, this is the Lose Yourself song.
SlimShady will kill you.
This is his dark side.
Oh man.
He has no boundaries of decency. You can hear this character in My Name Is.
And Marshall Mathers is the person like behind the whole, mask.
While the sincere and genuine Marshall can be heard in heartwarming songs, such as Mockingbird.
Little baby, don't you cry, everything's gonna be alright.
Who amongst these three do fans like the most? I think it's dumb to answer on behalf of everyone, but I can
SlimShady.
certainly say that SlimShady was loved, is loved, and will be loved by practically everybody.
Yeah.
In this video, we will tell you about the story of this psychopath, whom it was impossible to be neutral about in the 2000s.
You listen to me when I'm talking to you. You hear me? Shut up.
You either loved him for his audacity, or more precisely, for the fact that he could say whatever he wanted to,
If I'm evil enough to think it, or I'm demented enough to think it, or I'm smart enough to think it, then I'm gonna say it.
or you hated him, arguing that he's immoral.
Mom! No, yes, you did molest me. Yes, Mom, it felt good. But you shouldn't be touching me there, Mom. There's a lot of dope involved, and I'm very young and naive.
Want to know what else is immoral? Not trying Opera's brand new and updated browser. I find the new AI function, Aria, extremely useful. For example, I can release flop. Not knowing how to escape the dump he was living in at Fairport Street, 7 Mile, he got a call from his best friend Proof saying that he wants
Rest in peace to Proof though. Let's show our condolences towards that man.
to get the 12 best MCs in Detroit and create his own version of the Wu-Tang Clan. He precisely wanted 12 people to be able to name the group the Dirty Dozen, but he only managed to get 6. Then, Proof threw in the idea that each one of them would have a second name. Each of them would have 2 personas, and each would have the power of 2 MCs. This is one of those moments when Proof played a big role in Marshall's life. Of course, it wasn't Proof who came up with SlimShady. However, he led him to be onto something totally worthwhile. And how did he come up with this pseudonym? If you think that there's some kind of big story here, then no. He came up with the pseudonym while sitting on the toilet. Seriously, to quote his own words, I was taking a and I had an epiphany. Well, while you're taking a you think a lot. My pen and paper are always ready whenever I'm in the bathroom. Having thought of the name SlimShady, I started thinking of a million things that can rhyme with it. It was a pivotal moment. I understood that the alter ego will do a lot more than just shake the rap community. It wasn't just that I wanted to shock people, part of me surfaced. I was the one who was bothered by the entire world. At the time, he was very pissed off, partly because people referred to him as trailer park trash. And if they think of him that way, then he decided to embody that to the fullest and told himself, fuck it, then I'll just put it all out there. Another one of Proof's concepts was that they had to write about the sickest, weirdest things. This was the D12's main idea. For example, Bizarre rapped about, damn, I don't even know how YouTube would react to that. So I'll censor out things, and you'll understand what these lines talk about.
My grandmother, and I didn't. Who's this lady talking crap?
Generally speaking, this is where their style came from. Of course, they didn't want to go as hard as Bizarre did, but each of them wanted to be heard in their own way and just rap about the most shocking things that one could only think about. We most likely heard Shady for the first time on the Underground EP from D12 in the track called Filthy. Even despite the fact that this was never stated officially, it became known from the style that this was far from Eminem from Infinite.
Make plans for the casket. Your headland's in a basket. A dead man's in a plastic. I got red hands and the mask fit. I greet the gents and ladies. I spoil loyal fans. I foil your plans and leave fluids leaking like oil pans.
Eminem first appeared in the role of Shady in his own hometown, Detroit, at a place called The Fat House in the year 1997.
Maybe I'm wrong, but I was put on the shirt to make your baby mama strong. You want to put this baby on your wrong, the idiot alcoholic beverage. Losing all of my leverage. When I'm beside the first national bank broken that bridge.
And now we'll move on to the SlimShady EP, which was released at the end of 1997, where Marshall begins talking about some insane stuff, which the whole world will talk about and even attempt to silence him.
I want to grab people's attention. Like if my song is playing in the background and somebody's having a conversation, I want them to stop and go, what the f did he just say? Yeah, turn the radio up. You know what I'm saying? I already stand out. I'm not necessarily a normal person, I feel like.
The album begins with a skit where SlimShady demands Eminem to look in the mirror. The idea of SlimShady always centered around a mirror. When Marshall looked in a mirror, he could see SlimShady. Slim wants to explain to M that without him, Eminem is a nobody.
Vernon Central High School, how may I help you?
I'm calling to help you, actually.
Really?
Look in the mirror, you're nothing without me.
Which is why, in the first track of this EP, in Low Down Dirty, he himself could not accept the fact that Eminem and SlimShady are now together.
Inebriated, till my stress is alleviated. How in the Eminem and Shady be related?
It's also worth noting that it's not only the text that differs, but the tone of voice as well. If we hear the Infinite album and SlimShady, then you'd hear the difference. Even Eminem himself does not know where this comes from. It's possible that it's because he was walking around the streets pretending to be his own friend, for some reason, began rapping like this.
Somebody better test me, cause I don't want to get messy, especially when I step inside this dick freshly.
However, Eminem did not want to just talk about crazy topics. If he were to do so, then he would need to be some sort of lyrical acrobat to connect syllables and make sense, such as in Just Don't Give a F, for example. There, he talks about what he did with the swimming team, and he said not to perceive him like a comedian.
The women's swim team, don't take me for a joke, I'm no comedian.
That video didn't do too well. To this day, I can't understand why. What, MTV doesn't want to play it? What kind of world is this? What kind of sick world do you guys live in that I don't?
This track with the music video ended up being in a reissued release that eventually became the SlimShady LP. Dre heard Eminem's music and they began working together, even though Dre was told that it was not worth getting involved with Eminem, explaining that he's an extremely provocative rapper. However, that's exactly what the producer liked about it.
How can you prove that this is the real Eminem? I guess. There you go.
During the recording of this release, Dre told him that he needs an image, but Eminem never thought about how SlimShady looks like. And now, listen to this insane and hilarious story. One day, he was going around under the influence of some illegal substances that drove him crazy. He bought a bottle of peroxide. When he woke up the next day, he forgot what he had done. He saw himself in the mirror and screamed, "Oh, God!" He looked like a skunk. When he got into the studio as a new blonde in a white shirt, Dre met him with piercing dead silence. He just looked at him and could not utter a single word. And then he said, "There it is. We found your image." Then came Jimmy Iovine to take a look at what Dre was excitedly raving about. And he was stunned. "That's your persona. The persona that we've been looking for this entire time," said Jimmy. Marshall never thought that his stunt with peroxide would become how he would look like.
Hi, my name is Chicka SlimShady.
And then they went ahead and recorded the album. And it was practically finished. Then the Interscope label became very skeptical about this release, and there were even talks about kicking M out of the label.
Wow.
Even Jimmy Iovine didn't like his songs, including Role Model and My Name Is. Him and Dre met up with all the colleagues to understand what's going on in general. This scene was portrayed in the music video for The Way I Am, where Eminem became infuriated and tossed papers around.
Wow.
In reality, it wasn't that dramatic, but the discussion was serious. He then asked Jimmy, "Tell me what you want to change, because I don't understand what's going on. It's all stamped with parental advisory stickers. Think we can move on, can't we?" The album was published anyway, and let's go ahead and figure out what was so provocative in this release.
Yeah, I want to know
The
why.
first track of this LP became My Name Is, thanks to which he began gaining popularity. And, of course,
Give me a
it
hit.
included a lot of shit. The openly gay musician Labi Siffre, whose song I Gotta was sampled for My Name Is.
Oh.
He insisted that this line gets changed, even though for the rapper, this was just a line. Because of this, Marshall would later on be labeled as a homophobe, which is why he changed it to "Thanks a lot, next semester I'll be 35. He also went after Pamela Anderson, saying that he's so hard and knocked her clothes backwards like crisscross. This line was also changed to that he didn't know that silicone breasts are that soft.
A lot of rappers don't want to, or just a lot of groups in general, don't want to burn bridges.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to say this about this person because what if I meet them or whatever. I don't think like that. I think like if there's a reason for me to burn a bridge, then I obviously don't want to speak to you ever in my life, you know?
But in my opinion, the most intense lines are the ones about his mom, whose name is Debbie. He said that she uses more drugs than he does.
Damn.
But what offended her most are the following words.
How you gonna breastfeed me, Mom? You ain't got no...
In her book, she
Damn.
said, "This line was horrible and upsetting because I'd contracted toxemia blood poisoning when I gave birth to him and hadn't been able to breastfeed." It's worth noting that this Slim Shady persona is based on his childhood trauma. After all, when Marshall Mathers was just a child, his dad left the family.
Damn.
Some of his family members committed suicide, and he was bullied at school. So, in this release, there were tracks where he shared real-life sad stories. In If I Had, he talks about how he's tired of being poor.
White trash, broken, always poor. Tired of taking pop bottles back to the party store.
He also talks about an awful incident at a school bathroom when an older student called D'Angelo Bailey beat him up so hard that Marshall thought he wouldn't make it out alive.
I tried to plead and tell him we shouldn't be, but he just wouldn't leave. He kept choking me and I couldn't breathe.
Damn.
Eminem thinks that, as a matter of fact, each one of us has a lighter side and a darker one, which is why he strongly remembered the scene from the Animal House movie where there's a devil on one shoulder and an angel on another. There was a plot there where the devil was making the guy sleep with a drunk girl, while the angel discouraged him from this idea.
If you lay one finger on that poor, sweet, helpless girl, you'll despise yourself forever.
Here, there's the same difference between Eminem and Slim Shady. Dr. Dre understood that. The producer offered his protege to make a song in such a style where Eminem would represent the evil side of a person who wants to commit a crime, and at the same time, Dre would discourage the person from this awful venture. This is how the song Guilty Conscience came to be.
Oh, yeah.
All you gotta do is nibble on this little chicken's earlobe.
Yo, this girl's only 15 years old. There's the good half of you and there's the bad half of you. And 99% of the time, especially in America, the bad half always wins.
And this evil itself can sometimes strongly take over Marshall, to the point where he would be led to recording 97 Bonnie and Clyde, where he asked his daughter to help him get rid of her mom's body and throw it in the ocean. The
Man.
most interesting thing about it is the song includes vocals by Haley, which seriously angered Kim.
It's messy, ain't she? We'll let it wash off in the water and me and you can play by ourselves, can't we?
And generally speaking, the public started to like this wild Slim Shady.
I think it's going to change hip-hop. He's a Detroit boy. Love that.
In the following year, and more precisely in the year 2000 already, Eminem released the Marshall Mathers LP. The main song of this release became The Real Slim Shady. And the point of it is that this Shady resides in all of us.
Slim Shady, yes, I'm the real Shady. All you other Slim Shadys are just imitating, so won't the real Slim...
Having once heard Shady, people no longer wanted to see Marshall, which he rapped about in the track Without Me. After all, As proof set, Eminem is an MC who comes in sober and gives his metaphors, while SlimShady, after a couple of rounds of drinks, he's looking to pick up a fight.
Be out and I'll meet you at the joint.
It's really extraordinary being surrounded by such scale.
We'll do the first season justice, I hope. It's good to be...
Well, if you want shady, this is what I'll give you. A little bit of me mixed with some hard liquor, some...
In this track, he once again addresses the music industry, saying that everyone's bored without him, and this is considering the fact that the Federal Communications Commission, which regulates interstate and international communications, including radio, won't let him play his songs. They edit and censor him. M claims that they are trying to sabotage him by not allowing his music to be played, to try and get back at him.
You know, I've always been against censorship. So they say things about me and I just strike back. But honestly, it doesn't really bother me. I don't sit and dwell on it and cry about it.
It's also worth pointing out the plot of the Without Me music video, where Eminem and Dre parody heroes from the comic books, such as Batman, Robin, and Blade. They attempt to save a kid who bought the Eminem Show album with the parental advisory sticker. At the end of the music video, they ended up at the kid's house. Further, Shady takes away the kid's disc, pointing out to him the sticker that's placed on the disc. This is a message to all parents who prohibit listening to Slim's music, and to all of those who don't accept his music in general.
I think the older people are tending to take my dish too literal, you know. But I don't care. It's funny to me. You know what I'm saying? Because if I say my fucking brain fell out of my skull and they really believe it, you know what I'm saying? And what's wrong with them? I'm bringing you into Slim Shady's world. If you don't want to come into Slim Shady's world, don't come.
Shady kept going hard in the music industry and wreaked havoc with his next album, Encore, where the main single became Just Lose It, which quickly became a phenomenon. The music video itself is a wild ride filled with hilarious parodies of pop culture icons.
Yeah.
We see how Shady fights with MC Hammer, Pee Wee Herman, Madonna, Blink-182, and even Santa Claus, with a cameo from Tony Cox from Bad Santa. However, not everything looks as positive at first glance. This work sparked controversy because of the harsh references of Michael Jackson's work,
Yeah, he
his
didn't like
appearance,
it.
and even his accusations of child molestation.
I'm gonna make you dance, get your chance. Yeah, boy, shake that thing. Oops, I mean girl, girl.
Jackson was most of all offended by the last scene, where he's sitting in bed surrounded by little children. The pop singer called on all of the TV music channels to remove the music video from the air. Otherwise, he would sue Eminem. Only one channel agreed to drop the music video.
Was pretty painful as an artist to another artist. And it's sad. He should be ashamed of himself. What he's
Yeah, Michael didn't like it one bit because there was an accusation about him doing something with kids. Because I'm going to do a video of Eminem versus Michael Jackson. What happened, though? Because I was, cause when I reacted to the song, Just Lose It, I was like confused. Like, I thought he was dissing Michael. That's what I thought, though. Because I was like, okay, what the hell Michael do? Because Michael don't bother nobody. But he was making a joke of it. So I guess Michael didn't like it one bit, though. So, yeah.
doing.
It was making no personal judgment on Michael Jackson. It was not, you know what I'm saying? Like, it was completely meant to be all in jest.
Before this music video, the real Slim Shady stood up and made fun of Michael Jackson by dangling a baby doll over a hotel balcony in Glasgow. He also wore a surgical mask over his face in an obvious swipe at Jackson, who caused a furor when he held his baby son Prince Michael II over a balcony railing in Berlin.
Oh, yeah.
In addition to various jabs at the pop artist, Slim Shady, of course, had beef with rappers whose careers he destroyed. Just so you can understand, it even got to the point of driving them to tears.
I don't want to go through, I don't want to talk about it no.
Yeah, that was embarrassing. Eminem made a grown man cry on an interview. Wow, that was embarrassing. Yeah.
I don't want, for 22 years, every time I do an interview, they ask me about Eminem. The f want me to do?
This has been Zeno emotionally crying, and I'll tell you why right now. Just so that you can understand, he was trolled for decades because of the fact that after the beef with Eminem, his career hit rock bottom. The battle began when Eminem dissed The Source magazine, which gave the Marshall Mathers LP album a rating of 2 out of 5, and Benzino was one of the creators of the publication. He said that M should be thankful that he ended up in a column in the magazine in 1998, which gave Marshall's career a jumpstart. Eminem released one of the best diss tracks under the name Nail in the Coffin.
Yeah.
He completely ridiculed Benzino, including his age, his pseudo-gangster persona, and him as a bad businessman.
You'll never have no security. You'll never be famous. You'll never know what it's like to be rich. Life's a ain't it?
Benzino later released the Die Another Day diss track where the Boston rapper threatened his daughter. Eminem's
Disrespectful.
family was often mentioned by the rapper in his diss tracks.
Tell Haley it ain't safe no more. Daddy better watch your back at the candy store.
The beef later died down, and in 2012, Benzino said that he wasn't right about his statements about his family and apologized. But of course, M did not forgive.
Yeah, of course not.
You might think you know Bespoke Post. They have leveled up.
That how can I go with something he doesn't have?
Not only was Benzino not able to bounce back after Nail in the Coffin, but he also had to quit The Source in 2005. He tried getting back into rap, but was unsuccessful. He gets trolled in the comments where Eminem gets mentioned. Up to now, Benzino is still asked about that beef, and he was so fed up with it that he couldn't hold back his tears. In that same year of 2005, an unexpected turn of events took place. Eminem killed SlimShady. In the When I'm Gone song, M says,
Shady made me, but tonight Shady's rockabye baby. When I'm gone, just carry on.
In other words, Eminem admits that he no longer wants such a life. He liked it when this Slim Shady was around, but he became so famous that Slim Shady was freakishly close to destroying his family and himself in particular.
Damn.
So, Marshall killed him. He also got rid of his addiction to illegal substances. However, he wasn't able to get rid of Shady, which we find out in the Relapse album. In the intro to the album, Eminem meets with his rehab doctor right before he's discharged from rehab. But things take an unexpected turn, and Marshall learns that he might not have actually left all of his demons in the past.
Marshall, we'll always be together, Marshall.
Which is why, already in the following track, 3 a.m., Slim Shady returns and becomes a serial killer, committing mass murder following his escape from a rehabilitation clinic.
In the morning, put my key in the door, laying all over the floor.
And the music video of We Made You was made in the same manner as Just Lose It or My Name Is, where Slim makes fun of celebrities, saying that popular celebrities aren't any better than their fans.
Well, look at all the massive masses in the stands. Shady man, no, don't massacre the fans.
It's not necessarily intentional bashing. It's not necessarily taking deliberate shots at people. Yes, it is. What the f am I talking about?
In the song My Darling, it captures the Eminem and Slim Shady characters at war, representative of the workings of the angels and demons within Eminem's subconscious. And at the end of that track, their voices become one, meaning that as much as he didn't want it, Shady returned and became an inseparable part of Marshall.
Marshall, no one's gonna love you like I do.
And in the Marshall Mathers LP 2, Slim Shady returns once more. Evil Twin revives his manic for more trouble.
So blame me, blame him.
Briefly speaking, Shady didn't go anywhere. And on the 12th of July, 2024, an album by the name of The Death of Slim Shady was released. The first track is a classic Shady.
Elephantitis to the nuts element of intelligent hoodlum arrested development.
Throughout the album, Slim Shady argues with Eminem, saying that he absolutely does not appreciate all that he has done for him. In Guilty Conscience 2, Shady recalls the legendary 2000s, when he got him fame, courage, and gave him power to use him as an excuse to be angry. However, later Eminem tried to kill him a few times, which weakened him and led to many fans not respecting him anymore, as he no longer had the level of rage that he had at the beginning of his career. And so, Marshall currently turned into a frightened guy who shakes like Shakira's ass. And at the end of this track, the most interesting thing begins. Eminem decides to kill Slim.
Kill shot, booyaka, coup de grace, motherfucker.
He fired the shot. Then it later turns out that it was all just a dream. Eminem woke up with a sample of the song When I'm Gone playing. We spoke about this song a little while earlier, saying that in this song, Marshall wanted to put an end to Shady. However, if you hear the album backwards, then the plot becomes something entirely different. In that case, Shady kills Marshall. Songs like Somebody Save Me foreshadow Marshall's demise, while tracks like Guilty Conscience 2 and Breaking News depict Slim Shady taking control and reveling in the chaos he's unleashed.
A stunning move, has released an album in which he is actually trying to cancel himself.
The story takes a sinister turn with Trouble Skit, where Shady supposedly drugged Marshall.
Drink this. What is it? Shut up and drink it. No. I said drink it.
This leads to Renaissance, where Slim spits venomously over Marshall's grave and unleashes pure, unadulterated Slim Shady fury on the world.
Damn.
Elephantitis to the nuts element of intelligent hoodlum arrested development.
Once Eminem said that as long as there's Eminem, Slim Shady will live. Which is why I think that is the point of the album. That despite all the efforts of getting rid of this demon, Marshall will never be able to do it.
How long will I be this way? Shady until my dying day, till I hang up the mic and it's time for me to say.
The next video that I want to recommend you watch is the documentary film about
Yeah, man. Versus SlimShady, man. Yeah, I love SlimShady, man. I think he'll always be my favorite, though, man. Because Eminem, man, you created, though, man. You did. So, I don't know, man. I don't know if he's dead, alive. I don't know, man. So, SlimShady, I think I gotta check out some more Eminem's songs, though, from the early stage of his career, though. So, I think I'm gonna do that as more. And I'm definitely gonna be working on the Eminem vs. Benzino, Who Won This Battle episode. I'll be working on that. Should be coming out in September. So, be on the lookout for that, though. So, that, what you guys think, guys? What was your first song of Eminem when he plays as the SlimShady alter ego? Because there's a lot, cause I think Eminem was the first one to create the alter ego. Because I thought Tupac was the first one, because he had the Machiavelli name. So I don't know if I could consider it as an alter ego, but I think Eminem was the first one. Then Nicki Minaj did it with the whole Roman alter ego. So yeah. So that's the video, guys. I hope you enjoy it. What you guys think, guys? Make sure you like the video. Make sure you subscribe to the channel as well. I'll see you guys next video. Peace out, y'all.